Hey guys, so I'm jumping right into the product photography part of my test. Again, so far the lens has been absolutely fantastic, and this is the same thing. I'm just blown away by everything it does, how it does it. So this is pretty close up, pretty much 1-to-1, maybe not quite 1-to-1. I did. This is all the way tilted or swing all the way. You can see the cutoff here, the vignetting, and this is really the extreme end of the swing, so it's really not that big of a deal. You can see the sharpness is just, this is not sharpened in any way. I just corrected for exposure a little bit here, but the detail on this is just absolutely outstanding. I mean, it's just amazing. The lens does such a great job. The detail is there, fall off is beautiful. And again, this is the absolutely extreme movement, and you get that fall off here. This is same thing, just stop down a little bit, so obviously the fall off is harder. I mean, the vignetting is harder, but you can see that the sharpness and detail of the lens, even at that extreme movement, is still there, and it's just yeah, I mean, it just does. It's incredible. So this is, again, the same shot. I believe this is a little bit stopped down, but just not the movements all the way. No, I don't think this is stopped down, because if I'm looking at this, this is very shallow depth of field here. But again, it's just incredible. The detail is wonderful. It cuts right through here. Out of focus areas look really good. Yeah, so it does a great job. So to make things a little bit interesting, because I was looking at this, I was like, you know what, I'm going to compare this to the TTArtisan macro, which is you know, a great lens, and it shows how great that lens is, because this is the TTArtisan, which is, you know, $300, and again, does a really good job. Really nice out of focus areas. Pretty much exactly the same distance. Obviously, the TTArtisan goes all the way to 2-to-1, but at that point it vignettes pretty hard. So really, this is kind of the area that I would use the TTArtisan for. So straight on, no movements. These lenses at, you know, at this distance easily cover everything. Incredibly sharp. They look great. This is stopped down. It's probably a little bit darker here. Again, just great detail. This is the TTArtisan. Again, so a little bit stopped down, but obviously it doesn't have you know, shift or tilt, so it's straight on. But in terms, if you just need a macro lens, this lens works really well, and it's a lot cheaper. So I just wanted to compare that. Obviously, you're limited in terms of, you know, you can't shift the focus or the focus plane. So this is the, again, the TTArtisan, and you see the focus. It's just great fall off. But this is something where, because the, you know, if I shoot something like that, this is the Laowa, and you can see that you can play with the focus a little more, and you know, run it through the actual, you know, run it through the run the focus plane along the actual object. And this is where you can see the difference, because this would be the Laowa. So I'm running this, trying to pull this into focus. Which I did not manage to do, obviously, because for something like this is a actually pretty deep focus area. So I would have to either do some focus stacking here, but again, it would be easier with the tilt shift because it's just easier to get all this into focus. But the detail is just, it's just incredible. And this is the same shot with the TTArtisan. Also great focus, but obviously I have to pick and choose where I'm focusing on at the same f-stop, because I'm just not going to be able to pull as much into focus. As you can see, great detail, fantastic lens. Again, this is the Laowa. And I can get more. I just wanted to show you guys, but you guys already know how tilt shift works, so there's no real surprises there. Yeah, it's very, very impressive. Hey guys, so as I just showed you on the screen, this lens, let me just hold it up here, is pretty perfect. If you're looking for a macro lens for the GFX, I think this right now is probably the best lens available. Now, I'm saying maybe, probably, because I have this TTArtisan here again, and this is, a lot cheaper. It's smaller too. It does 1:1, great. GFX mount works really well. It's a great lens. If you want to get a little more, again, macro it's so difficult to get those shots, and then because so much has to do with depth of field and how to throw the focus. So tilt shift on macro, especially at this, in this range, is I think really important. And so that's why I'm saying I think this is the lens to get. It's not cheap, but it's also, it's still pretty affordable. Even compared to, I would take this over the Fuji 120 macro, which is an autofocus lens, and I had that lens. I would take this any day over it. Just because usually with macro, you kind of want to work with manual focus. You want to kind of set it up. And I feel like this is just a better lens. It does really well. It's a great all-around lens. It's a great 100mm lens. So it's not only like, oh, this is only a macro lens. This works really well for, close-up. It works really well for middle distance, and it works really well for far distance, for landscape work. So there's really no shortcoming optically of this lens. Now, in terms of, if I want to get nitpicking about it, there's a couple of things that are almost frustrating. So first of all, the lens cap, I don't know what it is about this lens cap, but I can never get it off. It's something about the way these clips are just a little slippery, and I can't get it off. So that's one thing. It's not a big deal. I could get a different lens cap. I would probably prefer one that kind of just goes on the top anyway. Again, it's a frustrating little nitpicky thing, so you can forget about that. In terms of the movement, the lens really does have everything. The gears and knobs are fine. It's a little, it pretty much shows the price maybe, or I keep saying, I mean, a tilt shift lens of this quality, f2.8, at 1,200 bucks or 1,250 bucks is almost unheard of for medium format. It's crazy. So that's where the price, I guess, shows a little bit, because these knobs, the tightening knobs, there's not a lot of play. It's a little bit, so I found myself, especially out and about, loosening this a little too much, and then the lens just kind of falls down. The gears are nice if you tighten this just the right way, and so it's a little fiddly. This button here to rotate the lens on the mount or on the camera is really, really close to the camera. It's really hard to push this, especially if you're getting into swing. Again, now I don't know which one is which. So if I'm putting this all the way over and then I, want to push this, and it's a little, yeah. Again, I'm getting really nitpicky because, again, it's a fantastic lens. It works really well. If you're shooting tabletop, if you're shooting macro, if you're shooting product shots with the GFX, this is the lens. I mean, obviously the GF lens is there as well, 3,500 or 4,000 versus 1,250, and this is 2.8. Now I read one other review of this lens, and they had real issues with the coverage of the lens on the GFX, which, if I would have read that review, I would have been like, okay, that surprises me, because they do give you a warning on the website. It doesn't cover the whole range, so I didn't really have that issue. It does vignette hard at certain points, but I pretty much have to go all the way and really throw the lens out. But I mean, it's I would say, so if this is the whole range, I may be getting issues with vignetting maybe at these settings here. I hope you can see this. So I'm almost moving this all the way, and again, it depends on the f-stop and everything. And I'm pretty sure that I mean, I don't know if the GF covers everything at the whole range. Now, obviously, again, if you shift and tilt, things are going to get, you shift, you tilt at a higher f-stop, you're going to get harder vignetting. You're going to get to that corner of the lens coverage earlier. But all in all, I mean, you still get a lot of range, and and fantastic quality all the way in the corners. It really works well. Focus throw, and this is something that I don't really like about the TTArtisan either. It's really short. I found this more of an issue with landscapes because this is 3 meters in infinity. There's a lot between 3 meters and infinity. This is actually 1 meter, and this is infinity. So there's not a lot of play. You really have to, take your time, zoom in, and figure it out. Again, I'm nitpicking. I'm debating about taking the shoe off, because I actually didn't use it. I just put the lens on the camera and shot it in the studio like that. I didn't even think to put it on the shoe. I did put it on the shoe for the tabletop, because I wanted to see, obviously, if you do shift or you do panorama stitching, then you would put it on the shoe to make sure that you move the camera on the back of the lens. Panorama stitching is not something I'm going to do that I can think of. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of rise and fall to like correct, you know, lines. I think that's easier to do that in software afterwards. So that's not really a big issue for me. The one thing that I'm going to use with this and is the swing and the tilt. And for that, I don't really need the shoes. I'm probably going to take that off. Yeah, so I hope all this helps. Again, great lens. If you don't need the tilt or swing, the TTArtisan is, I guess, the winner at that point. But again, consider macro. Depth of field is an issue. Just being able to maybe swing it a little bit, especially for product photography. You know, if you shoot watches or something, to align it with the watch face or something, it really comes in handy. And yes, it's more money, but that's where it's really worth it. So if you guys have any questions about it, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna keep shooting with this because it's raining right now. You guys probably hear this. I'm gonna take it outside to do some more landscapes and actually do trying to do handheld macro abstract stuff that I kind of shoot with, mostly with this kind of thing. So I'm gonna post some of that stuff as well. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. It's a really great lens. Thinking about looking at the 55 as well now. As always, that's the problem. But I think that would be a great kit. 55 in this, yeah. So, thanks for watching.